Slacky, y'all. Oh man, that pissed me off. See, I get a phone call and it just cuts the goddamn screen record. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But I guess I'll continue on. I was really hoping to get that in one shot, but I guess two parts will have to do. Let's start here. Habakkuk 2:10, it says, "Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it." It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood." That's how you established all your empires. He just went, the American Empire, the British Empire, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, every empire that you've ever had was established by blood, and you got to pay for all that. Okay? Behold, is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, Yahweh, okay, as waters cover the sea. So now we're at the end of the days, and the Israelites are waking up. We're coming back to our true nationality, coming back to true history, knowing, okay, who we are, and that prophecy is about to play out. And you so-called white people are about to go down, all right? Let's listen.
I'm just saying hyper-militaristic and take over everything. I'm assuming it's to somehow like reestablish some kind of order. Like that's like the underlying principle underneath it. But it is something that actually is worthy of being concerned about, because it's not going to pan out well. When it does get to that point, it's usually a very violent outburst. This actually concerns me. It's usually a very violent outburst. It's not because of the societal breakdown, but it's because a pattern that I tracked with white people, specifically Anglosphere, it never pans out well.
Yeah, so basically you get the point. He just admitted that he is an Edomite. So is this guy on the bottom of the screen. They are Edomites. They're the devil, and they're about to go down. Let's get back to these scriptures over here. Slack, y'all. I did not want to go over there. Let's get over here. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" See, the hammer of the earth, like he said, these people, they dominate the earth. That's because, you Edomites are the sword of the Lord. Okay. And he's allowed you to do what you needed to do so that he could cultivate his people pretty much. Okay. So that when we come into rulership, we would know the difference between wickedness and righteousness. All right. But the hammer of the earth, which is America, shall be cut asunder. You're going to be broken down. All right. You're going to lose all your power. All right. Let's get this in Second Esdras chapter 11 and verse 36. It says, "I heard a voice saying to me, look in front of you and consider what you see. I looked and saw something like a lion being roused, roaring out of the forest." And that represents Yahushai. Okay, this is Yahushai. And it says, "And I heard how he spoke in a human voice and said to the eagle," and that eagle represents Esau, Edom's power structure. In the book of Obadiah, it says he exalts himself as an eagle. So this is Yahushai speaking to you Edomites. What did he say? He says, "Listen, you and I will listen, you and I will speak to you. The Most High says to you, aren't you Edomites? Aren't you the last of the four beasts?" That's talking about the beast listed in Daniel chapter 7. "Aren't you the last of the four beasts that I made to rule my world, so that I might bring about the end of my times through them?" So yeah, the Edomites were the last nation to rule. They were the last Gentile heathen nation to rule the world before the kingdom of heaven is established on earth. Okay, when the Israelites would then rule. Okay, it says, "You, the fourth that has come," which is Rome. Okay, you Romans, you white people, "conquered all the beasts." Right, you conquered you conquered the Persians, okay, but you elevated your power structure above that all the beasts that were before. Okay, you above the Assyrian Babylonian Empire, right, above the Medo-Persian Empire, okay, and then you started with the Greeks and the Romans. Okay, it says, "You, the fourth that has come, conquered all the beasts that came before you, ruling over the world with much terror and over the whole world with harsh oppression. You have lived in the world with deceit. Right. Remember in Revelation, the 20th chapter, the devil, okay, he went out to deceive the nations. Okay. So this is talking about you fucking white people. We call you the devil. The devil just means deceiver. Okay. The Lord said it was you. And this guy, he just admitted to being the Romans.
I'm just
right?
It
Right there. He just admitted that you so-called white people are the fucking Romans. Okay. And you are the ones that ruled with deceit for so long. All right. You judge the earth, but not in truth. For you have oppressed the meek and injured those who cause no unrest. You hated those who spoke the truth and loved liars. This is what Edomites do. You destroy the dwellings of those who bore fruit, right? They have a very fertile, luscious lands and resources in their lands. And what did Esau do? He goes and destroys them and steals their land. Okay. And tore down the walls of those that had done you no harm. Okay. So you get the point. These Edomites gotta fucking go, man. You Edomites are going down. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is about to break your power. Okay. You will be nothing. You will be lower than worms. Okay. Let me get let's get it. Let's get it in the book of Judith. Judith 16, the 16th chapter, okay, goes in because it's when she's celebrating, singing the song. She's really giving you the gospel, okay? Judith 16. Let's see if this works. Okay, Judith 16, I believe it's the... Judith 16 and verse 17, it says, woe to the nations that rise up against my kindred, right, the Israelites. Woe to them that rise up against the Israelites, because Judith was of the southern tribes. Woe to the nations that rise up against my kindred. The Lord Almighty Yahweh will take vengeance of them in the day of judgment. Okay? It says, in putting fire and worms in their flesh. Right. That's the lake of fire. Okay? It says, and they shall feel them and weep forever. All right. So you so-called white people, you Edomites, you devils are about to go down. All right.
It never pans out well in any time in human history when specifically the Anglosphere is pushed to that point. This actually concerns me, is that when they're pushed to that point, there is this weird thing that goes on with white people, coined it like the dormant white hypothesis. But basically white people, when they're pushed to this extreme,
this dude looks like a skinhead. All right.
There's too much disorder and lawlessness within civilization or society, they freak out. And then they kind of get super militaristic, like
They get super militaristic, just like the Edomites said they were prophesied to do.
And take over everything. I'm assuming it's to somehow like reestablish some kind of order. Like that's like the underlying principle underneath it. But it is something that actually is worthy of being concerned about, because it's not going to pan out well. When it does get to that point, it's usually a very violent outburst.
So you get the point. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders, great millstone, for teaching this truth according to the Bible. Shalom and a Bible ball.